What you just heard Paul say was me. I was that guy that was brought up religiously in a religious church. I was also that guy that, when I got into ministry later in life, was still part of a very religious church. And that meaning, when I would sin, when I would do something that I knew was wrong, I was always waiting for the hammer to fall. I was waiting for lightning to strike. And I thought when bad things happened to me, it was because of the sin that I had, or the things that I did. I didn't think, yes, I knew God loved me. I knew He did. But I also thought there was a part of God that also was very angry and was very mean and vengeful. And that when I did the wrong things, that angry, mean God would come out. And I grew up with that. And I was always looking around the corner to see what might happen. I was always afraid to think that good things would happen. And so, yeah, like Paul, what you just heard was, you know, there's got to be a punishment for sin. And I always thought that's what it was. And when I was in ministry, I got myself into trouble at the church I was in because God gripped my heart. And He started to show me that verse that really says it's the loving kindness of God that turns us around, that chooses, that it's the loving kindness of God that causes us to repent. And when I finally figured that out, and that God was full of love and mercy and grace, it changed my life. It changed everything about me. But it also was not what the church wanted to hear. And so when I started preaching these things, that God wanted you to be full of joy, that He wanted to forgive you, that He was full of grace, and that also that He meant for you to be free, and He wants you healed. He wants you to live a life of freedom. Not free to do whatever you want to do, but free to serve Him and to love others. I ran into a lot of persecution with the church I was in, and eventually was asked to leave that church. But in all of that, I found a relationship with God that I never had before. I found a deep love and passion for Him because He's a God that loved me, and He wasn't out there looking to punish me. Yes, there is consequences for our sin, absolutely, but there's also grace and there's mercy, and He's full of compassion, and He wants to love me more than He wants to condemn me. In fact, there is no condemnation in Him. So what that has allowed me to do over the past several years is to fall deeply in love with a God that deeply loves me, and to fall deeply in love with people, and to let people know that He loves you. He wants to set you free. He doesn't want you to be condemned. He doesn't condemn you. He does not punish you. He wants you free. And He wants to show you grace and mercy and love. That's the God that I've gotten to know. Yeah, Paul was transformed in a mighty way. If you read the scriptures, you'll find out exactly what happened to Paul. But that's what happened to me. I went from a guy that looked for punishment for things I did wrong to a guy that just now accepts the grace and the mercy from God, and fall deeply in love with Him. He wants to set you free.